This is my Chinese-made Ranger. I can control the drone from inside the car and it has autonomous driving ability, but those features are only to the Chinese market. Ford think it's not enough, so today they released the new trim, the Ford Ranger FX4. But the most important part is this non-Raptor Ranger has a forks shock. Some of you guys might already watched my video about the 80-year-old grandma jumper sued me to jump the regular Ford Ranger wild truck, but some people thought the way it landed was not perfect, so I passed the information to the Ford Beyond, which is a Ford China company, and 6 months later, now they released the new trim, the FX4 with the forks shock. But before going too deep into the suspension system, let's talk about the differences between the Chinese Ranger and the Ranger in the rest of the world. The first one is the transmission. Instead of the 10-speed transmission you guys all get, we only have the 8-speed. But don't make me wrong, I think this 8-speed is more smoother than the 10-speed on this 4-cylinder engine. And the second part is the engine. For the gasoline version, we all share the same 2.3 turbocharged EcoBoost engine, but for the diesel one, we don't have the V6, we only have this 2.3-liter turbocharged Puma diesel engine. The third one is the most important part about the Chinese Ranger. As you all know, the non-Raptor Ranger only has the leaf spring at the back to take more load, and the Ranger Raptor has the coil spring at the back to have a better handling. But you know, in Chinese market, we don't have the Ranger Raptor, so we got two options for the regular non-Raptor Ranger. The first one is for the base model, which has the same leaf spring, and for the high-end trim like this wild truck, it has the same wide-link suspension like the Ranger Raptor. And the last one is the most important one, because this one has autonomous driving abilities, goes all the way to level 2.9. Because you know, right now all the road in China has been covered by a lot of different kinds of the electric cars. Most of them have the autonomous driving ability, so now it's kind of like the must-have feature for all those cars sold in the Chinese market. And that's why the Chinese Ranger has a different chip inside the car. It's 8155. You know it's a really powerful chip. It has the ability to support not only just the autonomous driving ability, it also has extra power to power up some amazing apps inside the car, like the drone, because Ford Beyond worked with the DJI, so right now you can control your DJI drone inside the car. This is the footage back to my home Xinjiang, the closest terrain to Baja in China. It performed really well compared to its price, $40,000. It's all due to it has the forks internal bypass shock. So now I want to show you guys something about my story with forks. So forks was actually pretty amazing on this truck. If you're a car enthusiast, you must know about this legendary brand. And if you are not familiar with it, it was a brand I went through almost all my life. So when I was a kid, I was crazy about the extreme sports like the bicycle, and the forks was the shock I always wanted to get, but my mom didn't get one because it was expensive. And after I grew up to a teenager, I started to fall in love with the off-road motorcycles, and again, forks shock was one of the best. But not only in the motorcycle, even on the RC, it has a forks logo on it. So after I got my driver's license, I bought my first ever pickup truck. It was a 2011 Ford F-150 Lariat with a V8 Coyote engine. The first modification I made on that truck was a forks shock. Finally, I fulfilled my childhood dream. And for now, as you may know, I'm so addicted to the off-road racing. The American style one like the Baja 1000, the Mint 400, and I'm going to race in Baja 1000 this year, hopefully. And there are two major off-road shock brands in the Baja. One is the King and another one is the Forks. So after all, Forks has a position in my heart that will never be replaced. As you may know, there are several different kinds of off-road shocks. Smooth body shocks, the one used on the solid axle 4x4s. Shock strut, the most common one on factory vehicles. Coilover shocks, which you can adjust the height. And the bypass shock, which is the most advanced performance shock. The fluid can bypass from the hose inside the shock body, which allows positioning sensitive damping. It's more comfortable when you are driving on the light-duty off-road terrain. And when you are doing crazy stuff like the jumping, it can also provide extremely firm damping. And the shocks on this FX4 is an internal bypass shock, which is a shock strut but with the bypass feature built in. Long story short, you can freely jump your truck while you can still get a fairly enough comfort ride on daily basis. But just for now, I want to jump this Ranger with the forks shock in there. So this is today's video, and I believe this will be the first ever review on this next gen Ranger FX4 on the YouTube. So if you like my video, please subscribe my channel and leave a comment below. And this is good news. Ford is going to release a lot of more, even crazier off-road vehicles in Chinese market this year. So I will bring more reviews on those trucks. Stay tuned, guys.